So let's try to do this in video form, because when I try to write it down, it just ends up scary sounding, and that's kind of problematic because it's really not that scary. It's going to be fine. So we've got to start with a few core concepts. First one, everything any of us creates, that's already covered by copyright. That is to say, when you create it, it's covered, unless you declare otherwise. So, for example, we've declared that we wrote this, we like it, but we don't want it to be covered under just normal, all rights reserved copyright. It's under Creative Commons, so you can use it under these terms. But unless that declaration or permission type thing is there, you can't use it. Concept number 2, though, ideas don't belong to anyone. This applies to game mechanics, game concepts, yeah, whatever. It's just the way they're written that's covered. So you can't copy and paste from the core rulebook, but if there's rules you like, rewrite them to be your own. You can even call them the same thing. And you can take, a sentence or two here and there. It's just you can't copy big chunks. That would be copyright infringement. And yeah, so that's problematic. So it doesn't matter if you give credit, that makes no difference if it's an all rights reserved copyright work, which is everything Games Workshop put out. So you're stuffed on that front. But rewrite the bits you want. You can even call them the same thing. Or you can even just say, uses this rule, refer to page, whatever of the other book or the rules or whatever. It's all good. So that's those things covered. Now, I wanted to cover the Creative Commons thing because I love that in the community we're writing so many things, and I want people to be able to remix stuff. I say I want. I mean, I'm talking on my own behalf here, but I know the rest of the Tugs guys feel the same way, because that's why we would release things under Creative Commons. We want people to be able to copy and paste stuff from our work, because why have them reinvent the wheel? They're allowed to use the ideas anyway. So, to do that, as I said in a previous post, you just have your copyright declaration at the end that says some elements used from this document written by these people, and it was made available under, let me check what the license was, CC by NC SA 2.5. And you asked about the numbers. Well, we wrote this document probably pushing 10 years ago, and 2.5 was probably just the newest version that was available at the time. I mean, now they've got 3.0, 4.0. Conveniently, you can use those in modern licenses. You're not required to use exactly the same license. It's just got to be another by non-commercial share-alike license. And so I'd suggest that when you put your finished version out or whatever, that you say made available under by non-commercial share-alike 4.0. And you don't even have to give your real name. You can have a pseudonym. I know we've released a document with a pseudonym in it. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I know the guy's real name, but he said, I've got a music career these days. I don't want to kind of mess with the search results by confusing things, so put it out under this name, but we're all good. And so that's what we did. So that's version numbers covered, I think. And what was the other thing I meant to cover? Yeah, so when you're doing your credit section, you can't just give credit to the official books. If you want to keep those bits, well, basically you can't. But you can keep the rules, and you can just reword them slightly. So that's fine. Either way, you're creating your own creative work, effectively. Then you're asking about the fonts, templates, stuff like that. Slight problem here. So I created these files for Scribus, a desktop publishing program that's free to everyone. And Scribus is only okay. It's just, it was available to everyone, and that was kind of more important. I don't have Microsoft Word. I haven't used it in probably a decade. And so I haven't got template files for you. I've got the images, I've got the fonts, and I can easily share them, that's fine, but yeah. Alternatively though, because I've been meaning to package them up for Scribus so that anyone can use the template, that's still going to be a lot of work. And I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm happy to lay it out for you just so that I don't have to finish making that template. If you want me to, that's no problem. I'll do that for you. And the fonts, there's 3 of them, and essentially pick 2. That is to say, you've got one that will be for the headings, and you've got one that's for the body text. Weirdly, they use one font for rulebooks, and they use one for like Citadel Journal, Gubbins articles. It's different for no apparent reason. But we've got equivalents of both of them, and they're available under free licenses. That is to say, you can just use them. I have to give a copyright declaration if I'm sharing them, which I'm doing in the topic, but yeah, just use them. You don't have to give credit or do anything special. It's fine. Hopefully that's everything. And hopefully by me talking about it, it's a little bit less scary, but I'll do what I can.